baddies, or bod, the young man's dilemma. Now, these three things are all a huge part of a young man's life. And there comes a point where he reaches a crossroad where he has to decide what his focus on. Now, most men, including myself, which you will find out in a short moment, kind of tried to juggle all of these things and ended up failing kind of miserably. But there's something out of these three that is by far the most important, and I will get to that next. So we've been getting this question a lot, especially the younger guys who follow us. They're wondering what they should be focused on in their 20s and 30s, even their teenage years. Men are already starting to think about this. Should they chase money, get the bag? Should they chase girls, get the baddies? Or should they go to the gym and chase fitness, get the bod? Now, a lot of the mentors and gurus out there will all tell you different things. Some of the guys will tell you to go and take a course, get a lot of money, make money fast, spend it fast. A lot of these guys are also the same people that sell these courses. So you have to be careful, but financial literacy and financial success are very important for overall health, well-being, and future growth. And then of course you have everyone's favorite, the pickup artists. And these guys will tell you that it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have, nothing matters. You just got to say the right thing at the right time and the girls will fall for you. Now, I'm sure you're well aware of this, but a lot of this is just short fun in a short amount of time, instant gratification. And then there's the fitness bros, and they're telling you that you don't need women, you don't need to go chase this or chase that. Just take all your anger, all your depression, your fear, your anxiety, and bring it in the gym. And now this is actually decent advice, but at the same time, there is more to life than just lifting weights. Now, don't come at my throat for that statement because there is a caveat here. Let's talk about my experience first. I had to go through a whole crazy experience to try and fix my gut in my teenage years. I would be running, I would be trying to exercise, and my gut just would not let me keep things down. It was super frustrating. I could barely get enough done in my personal life, let alone my romantic life and my educational life. However, once I dialed in my health, everything else started to fall into place. And here's why fitness is such an important aspect of this. Now, I didn't actually touch a gym until like I was 16 years old. I had no idea to do a bench press. I can't even do the barbell, to be honest. Like, I didn't know how to do any of these movements. All I knew was just exercising was sports, things like long distance running, football, sprints, drills, whatever the routine was. I didn't actually know what the heck was going on. And I didn't know what fitness was until my gym coach in high school introduced me to working out and lifting weights. Now, I'm gonna be forever grateful to my gym coach. Shout out Mr. D, Glenn. He's one of the greatest guys that really helped me on my journey. However, this taught me a lot of things because this gym coach was not only telling me the importance of having literacy in the gym and taking care of your body, but also learning about how to take care of your finances, learning about how to make investments into your future. And health and fitness and also finances actually have a lot in common. Now, you're probably gonna be wondering, where do the chicks come into place here? Where are the babes? Where are the ladies at? I want chicks. Well, calm down. It's gonna happen eventually. But you have to remember a very important aspect. The wrong woman can absolutely ruin your life. Learn from Mike Sager. Now, Mike is a very close friend of mine. He's 72 years young, and he had to go through some of the most tumultuous times in his life where he was at the peak of his finances, the peak of his fitness, but he had the woman that just wasn't right for him. Everything else started to fall down and crashed around him. So this is why women are so important, because you can have your health right, you can have your finances right, but if the wrong woman comes into your life, all of those things can slowly start to burn away. Now, I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful that that is not happening with me, and I am not in that position in my life, but I've had experiences where it's come very close, and I've really had to do the right thing, and sometimes it was a little bit harder than I would have liked. However, sometimes you have to be aware that there are consequences to your actions here. So be careful about who you choose to spend your time and to spend your resources with. I'm not talking financial resources. I'm talking your resources. You know what I'm saying? Resources. Think about it. And this is why it's so important for us to have this conversation now, why it's so important for us to discuss these different hierarchies of health, fitness, and abundance with partnerships. Now, there's a commonality between all three of these things, that you don't want too much of one thing. Now, too much money, too many women, and too much fitness doesn't actually sound that bad. However, if you think about it logically, too much fitness means you're going to be burnt out, your body's not going to recover, and you're probably going to get yourself an early grave. And then too much money, this one's interesting, right? Because money has added stress. Money has things that are going to change your day-to-day life. Now, if you just just end up getting $20 billion one day or $1 billion, then that's fine, because that's just going to come in and you're just going to pretend like nothing happened and live a whole different life. I'm not talking about that kind of money. I'm talking about the actions and the steps that it takes to get that kind of money a normal way. And in this situation, you have to be aware that the stress will increase. Now, there are many stresses that also get pushed down when you do have these finances in order, but you have to be aware that stress is one of the leading causes of health problems, and health is always going to be number one here. That is the most important facet here. And fitness and health, they kind of go hand in hand, but they're not totally connected. Fitness is important. It's important to look good. It's important to feel good in your own body. But what's even more important is having mental health, emotional health, having spiritual health, making sure that your body is in peak shape, not only to defend yourself and your loved ones, but also to be able to make decisions when times are tough, and to be able to take care of yourself and to enjoy yourself and to feel good within your body, to perform in the ways you want to perform in business or under the sheets. So this is why you have to put yourself first. Now think of it like this. A lot of things with especially partnerships and finances involve other people. You have to depend or rely on others in order to take the next step. In order to get what you want, you're going to have to either get a customer, someone's gonna have to give you money to increase your finances, or you're gonna have to have a person who's willing to be your partner in order to increase your romantic abundance. But when it comes to health, this is something you can do on your own. And this is a huge mental health hack. You release a ton of endorphins and you feel great when you just go exercise and you go outside and you get sunlight, you get your feet on the ground, barefoot, and of course you get your heart rate up, you start sweating, and you do things that make you feel good. And of course, in the moment, they're gonna be difficult, they're gonna be hard, but this teaches you a very valuable lesson, which is that difficult things lead to, over time, good benefits. And this is where delayed gratification and instant gratification come into play. Most men will fall into the instant gratification path. They'll chase the woman, they'll try and get that quick nut like a squirrel, and then everything else around them starts to crumble and they wonder why. It's because they chase the instant gratification. The beauty about fitness is that it's teaching you how to have delayed gratification, because you go to the gym, it takes months to start putting on weight, it takes months to start really dialing in that fitness. And for most people, it takes a little bit more to actually see the results you're looking for. And that's why the gym is so great, because it teaches you the value of putting in the time day after day after day, and then getting that reward 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road, just like finances. Now, this all works with partnerships as well. If you have the right people in your life, you have the right environments in your life, you're going to find the right partners. Now, this is something that I'm still working on as well. So I'm not perfect about this, but I have learned in my experience that when I do things that are more difficult, pursue things that are very challenging and scary, and I feel that pit in my stomach, it tends to actually work out very well. And it tends to be a lot better than just waiting for an opportunity to fall in my lap. But then what about finances? Think about startup guys. A lot of guys like Brian Johnson, these guys were almost suicidal at one point, and they almost lost their lives from having poor health or depression. And this is why having all this money, of course, you hear the cliche, money doesn't make it all work out, blah, 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 whatever they want to say. But now these guys are investing all of their money into their health. And that is something you should be taking a note on. How can you invest your time? How can you invest the assets you do have into your health? Because these men who have made all the money that they could are investing it all back into their health. So what do you have that those men don't? Think about the time you have, think about the stress that you have compared to them, and be grateful for those things and use them to your advantage. Because unfortunately, if a guy makes a lot of money, he ends up probably blowing it on stuff up his nose or spending money for some services that you're not going to feel so good about after, if you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about the OF crew, I'm talking about the escort crew. These kind of things are not going to feel great after you're done with them. Now, I don't have personal experience in this, I don't actually know this, but I've heard plenty of men say the same thing, that this feeling is very dirty and it just doesn't sit well in your stomach and it causes unnecessary stress. It's a risk to your health, and I just highly recommend to stay away from those things. If I can give any advice, just focus on the things that are delaying gratification. Subscribing to an OF account, instant gratification. Checking on the dirty website, instant gratification. Going to the gym, being able to approach someone that you're interested in, maybe getting their number, that's delaying gratification. That's where the gold is. That's where you get better as a man. Now, I personally know someone who's been very heavy in the pickup industry, and that's my good, close, personal friend and mentor, Dr. Farhan. And now he's in a very happy marriage, and he is thousands of times happier than he's ever been at any pickup event or any sort of party, because now he has someone that he can trust, that he truly loves, and he knows that they're helping him get better as a man, helping them with their business, helping them with their health, and most importantly, helping them care about themselves. Because pickup artists are usually people that are pretty sad. They're overcompensating for these things. And now there's nothing wrong with having literacy with women. It's very important to study about how you can approach women, how to talk to women. But the number one thing, and you'll hear some experts in this field like Casey Zander say, the number one thing is to approach these women, to do these things, to go out and try these new things, to see the dating world firsthand, go out, go to bars, experience what people are like in these environments. Don't drink, learn what's happening around you, and take notes on how female nature is, because these are the skill sets that will help you find the right woman, that will help you find the right woman in your life. And not only that, but they're also building your social acumen. They're building your social strength. So think of that as like a gym muscle as well. You want to start approaching people. You want to start making new friends. You want to start seeing how people are acting when they're at their most animalistic, their most basic behavior, because you can use this information to your advantage. But the issue is when you fall trap into those things and you start becoming attached to them. It's a toxic spiral that I've seen far too many times with my nearest and dearest friends. These men are destroying their finances, they're destroying their health, they can't hold a job, they can't hold a relationship, they just feel empty inside because they're searching for external things. But what you need to do is take time with yourself, learn how to stretch, spend every single day learning how to better yourself. And this is another important factor. Learning is different than doing. Learn and then do. Don't learn and then never do. It's way better to do and try new things and experiment, even if you have no idea what you're doing, versus learning and having all this knowledge and then never doing anything with it. This is something that I personally had a problem with, and it's something that a lot of my close friends in the same field have had a similar issue with. So make sure you just do things. Like for me, for example, I've started stretching every single day because I know that I need more range of motion. Now, what does this do for me? This is going to make me less injured in the gym. This is going to make me feel like I can move my body better. I'm not going to be sore as I usually am, but also it's going to help blood flow throughout the body. It's going to help my performance in other aspects of my life as well. So think of that and think of the benefits you get when you start taking daily action towards something. Now, when it comes to fitness, I have to mention the importance of food. And food is something that is so overlooked because it's so easy. It's such an easy way to fill that void. But if you put in that discipline, if you can learn how to eat healthy foods, how to cook healthy foods on your own, even if you have a spot you can go and you can have go-to healthy foods every day, and you just have a place where you can feel healthy. Like there's so many different ways that you can take care of your body, and giving yourself healthy food is one of the best ways because your body is going to feel great. You're going to feel like you've treated yourself. Instead of getting that instant gratification, you're not going to have that guilt. You're going to feel like you're actually acting in love and not acting in instant gratification, which would be things like fast food, things that are in the microwave foods. All of these things are easy calories, but if you learn how to actually consume healthy foods and create healthy foods for yourself, it's so easy. I eat the same thing every day. I just make hamburgers with a little bit of rice, some potatoes, I mix a little veggie in there, and I just have the same stuff. And it doesn't have to be the perfect ingredients. I try to get it organic, but if I can't find it, or if it's too expensive one day, then I just get the regular stuff. Like I'm not gonna beat myself up for it. I just make sure that I know when I'm eating my food that I am loving myself. It is me giving myself this love. It's giving myself this reward for taking care of myself. And that is an incredible feeling that you can get as a man. And it's all from within, baby. It doesn't have anything to do with any sort of business deals. Doesn't have anything to do with any sort of women's that you've been hanging out with. It's all from you. And men are obsessed with getting like the Brad Pitt Fight Club abs. That's really cool. That's a great way to get jacked, or you can get really big and look like a bodybuilder. But the real goal here is to feel good in your own body, be attractive to yourself. And that is when you'll start attracting more people. That's when you'll feel confident in your business deals. These are very easy things to do because they're little things. It's not one big event. It's not one super scary, super hard, super difficult. It's just consistency, baby. You just got to show up. And then if you miss a day, then you just continue the next day. That's the easiest part. You don't have to worry about doing it wrong once, because if you do it wrong, you know how to do it right. You can do it right 99 times and do it wrong once. And then as long as you keep on doing it right, your body is going to see a transformation. And this is where the the true benefit of being a man comes in, that you can earn that spot. You can become a man. As the saying goes, men are made, not born. So this is exactly how you start to become a man. You challenge yourself. You get into these difficult situations. You start going to the gym 40 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. These little things are going to add up huge over time. You get yourself uncomfortable. You get yourself into situations that are scary to you. And then you consistently start getting better. You start getting more accustomed to these feelings. And then from this, you become more and more of a man. And remember, it's all connected. So it's going to overlap into your business and work life. And it's also going to overlap into your relationship life. Or even if you can't get a gym, man, I'm trying to think of all the excuses here. If you can't get a gym, then just do body weights, do push-ups, do pull-ups at the park. Like that's so easy. Whenever I wasn't able to go to a gym, I would just go to the park. I went to the park today. It was awesome. I got a great workout in. I did pull-ups with chin-ups. I wore a backpack that had weights in it. It was super basic. I'd have to pay a single penny. And then I would do dips. I did ab lifts. I did push-ups. I did squats. I did stretching. I did all kinds of fascial maneuvers. This is the kind of stuff that's free. It's free 99, baby. You just got to do it. And then if you do it, you're going to get this huge pump of endorphins. It's going to feel awesome. Added bonus points if you do it outside, because then you're getting all the benefits of being out in nature as well. So it's a win-win. And then the time issue, right? I bet you, I know my screen time is not perfect. If I look at your screen time right now, you're going to have some time in there where you're scrolling through stuff you shouldn't be scrolling through. That time can be spent with so many better things. And if you do that consistently over the next weeks, months, years, you can have abs that even Brad Pitt would be proud of. So the moral of the story for all you young bucks out there is that health and wellness is really the #1 priority, and you really should not neglect it. You should embrace it. You should enjoy it. You should make it part of your lifestyle and make it normal. Make it who you are. Just consistently do these things and they start becoming second nature, because the right habits can make your future even better. Back to my good buddy Mike Sager, the one who lost all the money from the situation that he shouldn't have been in with the ladies. He's healthy now. And look at Mike's energy levels. He's still jamming out with his rock band. He's still riding motorcycles. He's still making his lady friend very happy. This is in the 70s. In his 70s, not the 1970s, in his 70s. He's still doing this. And it's because he had daily action. He would go to the gym, he would exercise. Even if he didn't have any equipment, he would still do workouts. He would still get the blood pumping, as he says, and he would make sure that he takes care of his body first. He'd eat good meals, get enough calories in, and make sure to get enough protein in. So if you have experience with this, if you're one of the big dogs who's been helping out men, or you're one of the younger dudes who's just starting to get going, let me know in the comments where you're at and what's the one thing right now that's really holding you back the most, or the one thing that you're mostly excited about. And then of course, like and subscribe for your health.